Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Give me that.
Did you catch a game last night?
Mm-hmm.
Is it still hot out there? Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, March 13th, 2025. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Hey, podcast listeners. This is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trae Kirby. Hey. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Uh-oh, I got the wrong box thing up, but hello.
Whoa,
Hey.
It's double JD. Shout out to everybody joining us live on YouTube. You just saw a double Trae Kirby there on your screens. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Tickets still on sale for the No Dunks live podcast pizza party with Tabasco coming up on March 27th at the Seven Stages Theater in Little 5 Points in Atlanta. Come out and see your boys and have a slice of pizza and share a laugh. Tickets for those, the link for those tickets is in the show notes.
I heard Chipotle Tabasco is good. That's what a commenter said.
It is good.
Uh-huh.
Smokier.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait to try it. We had a wedgie last night. Been a while, but we got one. Tyus Jones sticking wedgie number 35 in Houston on the three-point attempt. Oh, real deep wedgie. Look at this. Can't even get it out there. And got a real stain on that ball. Really gross-looking wedgie.
It was funny hearing Craig Ackerman and Ryan Hollins on the call say wedgie at the same time.
Yeah, Jinx, you owe me a Pepsi.
Jinx.
So there it is. We're up to 35 wedgies. Pace remains at 48 on the season.
I've seen multiple people request this, Skeets. They want us to mention that Alperen Şengün had a beautiful behind-the-back dish for
Yep.
a dunk to Tari Eason immediately preceding the wedgie.
Yep.
It's been mentioned.
Thank you. It was a hell of a pass.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, it was like a jump behind the back
Yeah,
pass.
very cool.
Yeah.
Out of the
Gorgeous.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing that a lot lately.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
So great play from him. Good win from the Rockets. We can touch on that in a bit. But let's start with the Thunder beating the Celtics. The Thunder beating the Celtics. Why can't I say Celtics suddenly?
This is the one.
The Thunder beating the Celtics. There we go. To clinch a playoff berth. What were your big takeaways from OKC's victory?
This was just a fun game. This felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, baby.
Yep.
Where OKC said, we're going to switch up the lineup here. They didn't have Jalen Williams, and they said, we're going smaller. Isaiah Hartenstein hit the bench. We're going Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace, along with Aaron Wiggins. And I thought Cason Wallace was massive, even though he was the tiniest guy on the floor. And the Celtics were trying to take advantage of that. They saw Jaylen Brown in front of him, and they tried to go at that. Now, the 3 points were flying for the Celtics. The most in a half in NBA history. They took 36 in that first half.
Chunky.
Yeah, and it was working. The assists were working, but then they decided to play a little inside out. Kristaps Porzingis not being there maybe hurt a little bit, but I thought Cason Wallace just throwing Jaylen Brown around a little bit, pushing enough really helped out. Jaylen Brown had a very, very quiet game, a quiet 10, and I thought when he tried to go at Cason Wallace was able to hold him up from the perimeter, stopping him. So much so that he took a hit, took another hit, and then was able to block the shot. It looked great in that third quarter when the Celtics were trying to take the lead in this game. And Dak not being very smart, throwing Cason Wallace to the bench right after that. Jaylen Brown just couldn't do anything against him. And then he came back in the fourth quarter. He couldn't get the ball on a post-up with Cason Wallace able to take away the passing route from the perimeter. Sam Cassell on the Celtics bench was trying to tell him, this is how you seal him off. This is how, and he couldn't. And so I thought Cason Wallace was just awesome. Even when Shea went to the bench, Cason Wallace in that fourth quarter drove and set up Hartenstein, taking him to the line, then defensively scrambled to knock away a pass from Horford down low, and then he hit an open three with 2:20 left to kind of seal it. And it sounds weird to say kind of seal it with a 9-point lead in today's NBA, but if there's any team that can hold a 9-point lead, it's this freaking team. They're so good. And yeah, it sounds nuts, but I thought Cason Wallace was really the X factor in this game. 14 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block in 30 minutes. And again, holding Jaylen Brown to 10 points. Even though Jaylen Brown had a flow, he even had Mark Jones on the broadcast saying, man, he used the self-checkout line on that one when he was able to go to the hoop by himself. I thought that Casey Wallace did a great job of just throwing them off enough. Even Derek White, he had an open lane at one point midway through the fourth, but they just were thrown off by this defense on the inside. So an outside-in team couldn't do the inside-out thing.
Jaylen Brown had one of his worst games of the season.
More fouls than makes.
Yeah. Didn't hit a three. Didn't get to the free throw line. He only had 10 points, like you said. But he did credit OKC's defense. He was like, after the game, it's like, yeah, they took me out of my rhythm. They play very physical. I should have matched that physicality. These guys were fighting hard. That clip you said of Sam Cassell literally teaching Jaylen Brown mid-game, hey, this is how you post up. Watch Jaylen Brown in that clip, though. He's like, okay, I know how to post up, man. So he's barely looking at him, but
Sam Cassell, underrated post-up game for a guard.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And he was. He's telling him how to do the angles and use your other arm. No. Yeah.
A mere minutes later, they're trying to get him the ball. They couldn't.
Yeah. I thought maybe a part of it, Jaylen Brown had a weird energy in this game. He did seem flat. I thought, is it possibly because he's fasting for Ramadan? But it's not the first time he's done that. He's done that for a couple of years. And I remember he's done it previously, and he was on fire during that stretch. So I don't think that's the issue. I think it's more how OKC played him, and he just had a game where he couldn't hit a three as well.
Yeah, Wallace was awesome. 8 points in the fourth quarter, hit the big three, and then he had another take off the dribble as well when the Celtics were doubling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. No Jalen Williams out there. Somebody else had to be the second guy, and it was Case and Wallace in the fourth quarter. Jalen just had a stinker. I think the fact that he was out of rhythm the entire night, couldn't really draw fouls, and no Porzingis is why you saw so many three-pointers for the Celtics. Those are two guys that score inside for them. Porzingis beating switches, and Jaylen Brown's just kind of a driver who is very aggressive to the lane, but he didn't have it going. So the Celtics took 36 threes in the first half. They made 15 of them. Close game. Yep. They took 27 in the second half. That's still a lot. They made 5 of them. Yeah. That's not enough, especially against a Thunder team that's very good and still very deep. No J-Dub in this one. Caruso didn't play either. Aaron Wiggins did not have a good game, didn't score, but they got 11 points from Isaiah Joe. He hit 2 threes. They got another 10 points from Kenrich Williams, who hit 2 threes as well. And then Chet Holmgren was really solid finishing plays. I thought his self-creation stuff kind of at the start of the fourth quarter where they're trying to get him going, that wasn't working at all. He was completely out of sorts, but he did a great job of finishing the plays Shai Gilgeous-Alexander created for him, scrapping inside, getting offensive rebounds, and finishing. He still scored 23 points, 8 of 14 from the field, even if he wasn't necessarily putting the ball on the floor and going to the rack, though he did have that one on Derek White where it was definitely a charge. Derek White was there easily. Should have got the call. White was hooping in the first quarter, but great stuff from the Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played a fine game. I thought that was a B for him, and he had 34 points, 7 assists, but 5 turnovers, right? He wasn't killing it out there, but he was good enough in the fourth quarter, plus what they got from Case and Wallace to pull it out in Boston. Impressive win.
Yeah, the game definitely showcased the Thunder's lineup versatility. And like you said, how they started it, who they started, go small ball, but then they had that double big sort of sometimes zone action where they had those guys off the bench, and so they had a bunch of different things that Daigneault can play and run with this team because they have such a deep roster. Kenrich Williams I thought was great in this game. You brought up the offense, he was obviously very physical defensively as well, getting up on those guys. But man, the Thunder, they willingly give up threes, and we've talked about it before. They give up the corner three, and man, did the Celtics just let it rip last night. First quarter, they had 22 three-point attempts. Only 2 of their shots were from inside the arc in the first quarter. You guys have said it a couple times, 36 three-point attempts at the half. An NBA record, but the issue to that for me was they were trailing. They hit 15 threes, you said, in the first half, and they were down. It's I know some people like live betting. That would have been a smash OKC to me, man. I don't think I like the Celtics' chances of hitting another 15 threes in the second half. And they went cold, but 63 total three-point attempts. Third most any team has ever taken in a game.
They were getting good looks. They were getting good looks for sure.
I will say
they made 23s.
Yeah, they made a ton. I thought at times, though, especially this guy, Jrue Holiday, is turning a little into Rondo.
Yes, he is.
Where he turned down, I counted 3 or 4 what I thought were sort of layup attempts, easy looks at least inside to kick out to a three-point shooter. One time it worked. I think it was maybe a Tatum 3. Other times it didn't. That's sort of a Rondo thing where maybe just take the layup, dude. You don't always have to kick it out. And then the other part of him maybe turning into Rondo is he's struggling to hit a 3 this year. 34% for Jrue Holiday on the season. That was big last year, 43% from deep for him in the regular season, and then 40% in the playoffs. So you wonder if like teams are going to, like, if you're going to leave anyone, you leave him and live with him right now because he's just not on fire from deep.
He is like type of guy to sort of have a poop game and then follow it up with a good game, so we shall see. But yeah, the fact that they just weren't looking inside at all for a lot of the game was the problem. Jason Tatum had to pull up through when Derek White was just hanging out down low. I mean, a dunk is easier than a three-point shot. That was the case there. But anyway, the OKC was just responding to a bad Denver game where they just didn't play to their capability. They played awesome in this game. How deep they went, every single guy. As I said, Dagnott says, you know what, Casey Wallace, you're playing awesome, but we got other guys to play awesome too. Let's just keep switching it up. And then they go zone. It was a broadcast that even commented on the zone and the scrambling of the defense. That was a championship type defense there.
Active hands, active feet, I think Doris Burke said on a couple. And it's true. I mean, as many three-point shots as they were generating, and a lot of them decent looks, there is still a ton of scrambling, especially as the game went on, where other teams just tire and like, all right, fire away. They don't do that because they can just bring these waves of guys. And yeah, Chet Holmgren had a good game, 23 points, 15 boards. He did sort of step up there in that Jalen Williams absence as their sort of secondary playmaker and scorer. And what's going on with Kristaps Porzingis? Like, what is this mysterious illness is basically how they're selling it to us.
A viral illness is what they call it.
But not contagious because he's there.
Yeah, so it's 7 games that a virus has been holding him
Yeah,
up.
so he just have low energy, I assume, and I don't know. It's a little strange, but they're going to need him. I think it was Jay King on the Daily this morning. I think he made a good point. It's like, look, this is still a great team. They're the defending champs. It still goes through Boston, but like, it's not going to be as easy, their run to potentially getting back to the finals and winning another title as it was last year. A lot of that, some injury luck against who they were playing, but these teams weren't up to the competition that they are this year in Cleveland, maybe even the Knicks, and obviously OKC or whoever comes out of the West. Like, it's going to be a more difficult case this year.
You're saying you think they're actually going to need Porzingis to play in the playoffs this year?
Yes. Yeah.
They didn't need him last year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But, yeah, they're going to need him. So hopefully he's just healthy enough in a month. That's really all it comes down to for the Celtics, is him getting this virus cured in the next month, whatever it is.
Yes.
And you're right. They're going to challenge Jrue Holiday to make shots. He's had good playoff runs. He's had terrible playoff runs. If he's hot, then the Celtics are unguardable. Yeah. And if he's clanking away 34% like he has been all season, there's one guy you can leave.
Yeah. It was a trickle-down effect for their team as well. It just seemed like a lot of the guys were off. Tatum was definitely on. But yeah, they were off, that's for sure. And you can see on the other side, OKC, last year they were allowed to have Lou Dort and Josh Giddey open in three-point line. Well, now Josh is gone, but the Celtics were allowing Lou Dort to shoot, and he was willing to shoot. He is willing to shoot every single game, and he took 8 of them, and he feels comfortable taking those shots. So they're in a flow. They're in a flow.
All right, let's keep it moving. Anthony Edwards scored 29 points as the Wolves crushed the Nuggets, 115-95. The Wolves improved to 3-0 against Denver this season. Obviously beat them in last year's playoffs. Seemed to have their number a little bit. And it's a potential matchup again in this year's playoffs. But what do you think of this win from the Wolves to make it 6 straight for them?
Oh, hello! Too much turnovers, I thought, for the Denver Nuggets. They only had 10 on the night, but 9 of them came in the first half. Only 20 assists for Denver, but in the first half it was 16-9 points off turnovers in Minnesota's favor. And I just thought that they looked bigger and more athletic. Jamal Murray really struggles against this Minnesota Timberwolves team. I guess the athleticism and the length that they bring can kind of bother him. Jokic and Westbrook combined to score 53 points last night, 21 of 35 shooting. Everybody else who played for Denver, 42 points on 15 of 54 shooting. That is 27%. You look at the three-point line, 17-7 in Minnesota's favor. That's basically the game right there. I just didn't think Denver had a good game at all. They were completely out of sorts, and Anthony Edwards was awesome in this one, I thought. 29 points, 6 assists. In the third quarter, Denver comes out like gangbusters to start the half. They get it down to a 5-point game, and Edwards just made the right play for like 10 straight minutes. He had 10 points, 3 assists in the third quarter, really getting off the ball quick when he would see a double team. If they went for a one-on-one against him, he was going to the lane and finishing pretty solid. If he had the three-pointer, take it and make it. then to start the fourth quarter, it was Julius Randle time. He just kind of slammed the door, and he was really good. Everything was clicking to me for Minnesota, except for Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle trying to pass to each other. That was hilarious. Gobert had a turnover in the first half that Richard Jefferson just laughed at when it happened. He I don't know, Gobert was trying a fast break move, and he threw a loopty pass over his head. So then the next time down, it was like Randall had Gobert in a post up, and he wanted to pass him the ball, couldn't get it to him. Gobert was obviously upset. That's how he gets. So the next time Randall tried to force it in, and it was just a disaster zone. But Randall was really solid. He slammed the door shut, like I said, to start the fourth quarter. Impressive win for Minnesota. They're looking good right now.
Yeah, they are looking the best that they've looked. And though Rudy against Jokic, we looked at the playoffs last year and thought, nah, can't do it. This is Karl Anthony Towns time. Even though Rudy allowed 34 points in this game to Jokic, I thought he did play him well. He blocked him once, and Jokic only had 4 assists in this game as you played him one-on-one, were able to take away those passing lanes. And the big thing is that Jamal Murray was not Jamal Murray. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker felt like Nickeil Alexander-Walker played like 40 minutes out there. He played 15. But when he was out there, he was able to squash Jamal Murray, just like last year in the playoffs. That is a great matchup for them. Jamal Murray had 0 made shots at halftime, and only had 1 point at halftime. He finished on 12 on 15 shots. Again, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is the guy. They just look like the best version of themselves right now. These Timberwolves are rocking, and yeah, there's those bad moments when Rudy's on the floor offensively, and he goes to the bench, and here comes Naz Reid, and they have this flow. But in that third quarter, when they blew it open, here comes Anthony Edwards. But finding Jaden McDaniels for 2 corner threes that he made, because he's in a great flow. He's at his best point this season. I wonder if they can move up here. It's a crazy race in the Western Conference. They are tied with the Golden State Warriors for 6th, but the Minnesota Timberwolves could take the 6-game win streak and make it a double-digit win streak. They've got a soft part of the schedule coming up here, a 5-game homestand. They should be able to win, honestly, the next 6, I would say. That being said, the Warriors have a 5-game homestand themselves. So the Timberwolves schedule is definitely easier than the Golden State Warriors, but this is just their best flow with the easiest part of their schedule. So they could turn it on. They've got an easy one coming on. They do look like their best version of themselves, for sure.
Do you think the Nuggets could be keeping an eye on how the Wolves are doing in the standings and potentially try and avoid them? Because it seems like a weird matchup problem for them, especially the Jamal Murray situation, where they've been really good at shutting that guy down. And all we talk about with Denver is like, well, is Jamal Murray playing well? Because you like their chances to win then. If he's not, I'm sorry, Jokic just sort of can't do it by himself. You wonder if they're like, keeping their eye on that. Like, we'll maybe take our chances against some of these other teams.
Hope they get the Lakers again. They love playing the Lakers.
Exactly. right. You never know. All right, let's keep it going. Mikal Bridges nails a 3-pointer at the buzzer to give the Knicks a 114-113 overtime win over the Blazers. We got another double bang from broadcaster Mike Breen. I believe it's his 10th career double bang. His second this season. Wasn't it Curry on Christmas Day? Got the double bang call from Breen, and now another one, and probably a deserving one, considering the insanity of this game, which had 42 lead changes, crazy runs to get us to overtime, and then you think the Blazers are going to win it in overtime, and then Bridges hits this 3.
That was a wild 3, man. The Scoot Henderson getting them there, I think it needs to be the 30 points he had, but he just keeps that dribble going, and that's the part of him that's grown. He did circles around Mitchell Robinson at one
hilarious.
point. Yeah, he was literally just a loop-de-loop.
He scored 8 points in the final 66 seconds of regulation because he hit the 3. He had a 3-point play. He had a couple free throws.
Yeah,
and that helped get the Blazers to overtime.
That was funny. Mitchell just chasing Scoot. You got to scoot after the scoot, and he couldn't do it. And then the spin after going into Josh Hart's body, he's just grown so much. The drive to the rim with 40 seconds left was really key, and he had 4 threes in this game. He's hitting 36.9% of his threes this season. Surprising that he's above average, and this is a great part of his career. I think PJ Tucker. He's on the bench here for the New York Knicks. He signed a 10-day contract. He's the best cheerleader in the game. I think that's why they got him. I mean, he was just cheering like crazy. And then Mikal Bridges, that was a wild shot. I thought there's no chance that was going to go down.
Oh, he sure was confident it was. He was like almost celebrating before it even went in. He got a good, clean look at it.
Yep.
I mean, it was challenged. Was
Over
it?
Klingen.
Yeah, it was Klingen.
Yeah.
Big monster of a dude.
Yep.
Maybe forced him. I always wonder when we play pickup hoops, sometimes when you got a taller guy on you or a guy that's really good at defense, it like helps your shot because you're like forced to put more arc on the shot. I shoot a lot of flat shots, so it's like I need that arc. But yeah, Bridges splashed it. 33 points for him. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And they're like salvaging this sort of West Coast road trip here. Now 2-2, 1 game left after the Brunson injury.
This is the kind of basketball they need to play with no Jalen Brunson. It was much more by committee last night, I thought, than even when Brunson is healthy, and he's like the guy soaking up most of the possessions. New York had 27 assists in this one. Josh Hart had 9. Deuce McBride had 5. Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, they both had 4. OG Anunoby even had 3 assists. The ball was moving, multiple players in double digits, and then Mikal Bridges was able to throw it back to the Mickey Mouse March Brooklyn Nets, 27 points per game, living in the mid-range, pulling up over Donovan Klingen. So he got into a bit of a rhythm, shooting over Klingen. So when he caught the ball there with 3 seconds, rise and fire, he was used to shooting over Donovan Klingen. He said, sometimes I fade to the left, but I could tell it was still straight on, even though I was drifting. Incredible celebration from this guy. Great game from Mikal Bridges, and I just thought this was a nice win for the Knicks, and I'm curious to see what kind of gift Josh Hart buys for Mikal Bridges, because Josh Hart completely threw away the end of this game in overtime, stepped on the inbounds line, on the baseline, to give Portland a look at it, fouls Denny Avdia for the and one before Bridges hits the shot. So, I mean, edible bouquet, no. It's too minor. These guys have known each other for a long
watch
time.
is too nice, like a luxury
it's too nice.
watch.
It's just a regular season game.
Yeah.
But you got to get him something, because Josh Hart really botched it here in the fourth or in overtime. So I'm looking forward to seeing something on the internet.
What
today.
was the call on the Josh Hart violation? Was it for stepping on the line or for moving, I thought? Because he wasn't allowed to do that in that situation.
I don't know. I thought
he
it was for
ran.
stepping on the line.
I thought it was because he took several steps before he inbounded the ball. Regardless, it was a classic. All you got to do is inbounds the ball.
Yes.
You're going to get fouled, and you'll probably at the very least, they would have to hit a miraculous 3, but you're probably going to win the game. But yeah, it gave them the chance. Avdia, he got blocked on that play by Mitchell Robinson, but then it sort of fell right back in his hands, and then Hart fouled him, and hell of a play from Avdia. Another great game from Denny as well. He was a monster
Denny's
again.
hot.
Like 15 boards again for this guy.
Yeah, it was a wild ending. It was a highlight pack that NBA.com just went directly to the end of the fourth quarter. Forget the other 3.75 quarters. Yeah, Josh Hart was literally running up and down along that baseline. You don't see that happen very often. I mean, that was a long run that he took. Weird stuff, but they needed that. The Knicks, it's so weird that they needed that. I guess it's a blessing in disguise. When Brunson goes down, that Mikal Bridges absolutely has to stand a
little bit.
step up. This is his time. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and he was saying you got to rely on our starters a little bit less. He was like calling out Tom Thibodeau, saying we're playing too much, and this is a guy who never misses a game. And I mean, he still played 41 minutes in this, but they played 53, so it actually looks good percentage-wise if you're doing it. You mentioned Scoot. This guy was awesome in the second half of this game. 18 points in the third quarter. Was good in overtime as well. He's stronger with the ball, and he looks, finally, I think, like the athlete that he was pegged as coming into the draft, because they're talking about this guy as a Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook type when he was coming into the draft, and that was not at all the case in his rookie year. He just looked like an ordinary dude out there. But last night, he was blown by Deuce McBride. That spin move was incredible. He should have gotten another foul call right before the Josh Hart inbounds violation thing. That was definitely a foul when he drove to the hoop with like 7 seconds left. It worked out in their favor. Everything comes out in the wash eventually. But Scoot actually looks like a top-tier athlete once again, I think.
Yeah. He's just mentally so much more comfortable when he sees a space. He goes to the rim. He doesn't do that mid-range shot that he's known to do in the first part of his career here. In his first year, I should say. That's what he did. But he feels so much more mentally comfortable. And I don't know if I'm just saying that because I read Jason Quick's article on The Athletic about how Scoot Henderson has adapted. He's got this little electrical thing that he puts around his neck just to kind of clear his mind. Cool. It gives him the little electric impulses. But I think he's just smarter at space, how to use it, how to get there, and then shoot 3-point shots. He's it's either at the rim or the 3-point shot. So yeah, he feels like so much better. You're right.
Any other takeaways from Wednesday night's busy NBA schedule? Any other games you
Well,
want
my
to touch on?
Jazz got fined $100,000 for tanking, and now suddenly Lauri Markkanen is playing. Played his first game since February 22nd. He was wearing a headband.
Yeah, they all were basically, weren't they?
Yeah. Except for Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Get on board, buddy. Come on. It's all of us or none of us because, I mean, Walker Kessler's got one on.
Yeah, I know.
Lowry's got one on. Looks kind of weird. Anyways, Markkanen had a look at 3 to take the lead with 40 seconds left. Clanking in from him on the other side, John Morant had a wide open look as well. He knocks it down. Call 12. He's yelling, boom, boom. Memphis, that was a nice win for them, even though they did give away a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Luke Kennard was massive, 30 points, 7 threes. He hit a big 3 right before Ja did, and then Ja was good as well, 28 points, 7 assists. Nice.
We got to talk about Mason Plumlee and Steven Adams getting ejected.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was great stuff. It was hilarious because Mason Plumlee threw up an elbow into Steven Adams' throat area. And so Steven Adams just kind of locked Mason Plumlee's arm, and then he put the double hooks up to Mason Plumlee's armpits, and he just wouldn't let go. He's just holding him. And then Mason Plumlee got so mad at being held, he just literally just fell down with him. It was like a wrestling move. There was no punches thrown. I thought Steven Adams' skull may get crushed against the wood, but all good. He was able to just
I
go.
highly doubt you can crush that guy's skull.
I mean, he
No
went.
chance.
Seems solid.
Yeah.
But they were chest to chest for like, I don't know, 8 seconds. And because Adams had him hooked, Mason Plumlee just literally wrestled him down and landed on top of him. He was super duper mad. And then Steven Adams just got up and laughed.
Yeah, got up laughing.
Hilarious. And they both get ejected for it. Yeah, all was good, I guess. I mean, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. They both got double text. Were they both ejected?
Yeah,
I think they were. I just left that thinking Steven Adams has gotten a little bit weaker over the years. We saw him in Memphis pick up Tony Bradley and carry him like 15 feet.
That's true.
Tony Bradley and Mason Plumlee are basically the same size, and Plumlee took him down.
That's right. He's lost some of that
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah,
He's been out of the game
now,
for a little bit.
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet back as well. Rockets win.
Huge.
Yeah, it is a big
Very
Rockets
important.
win.
Yeah.
Bad Suns loss, of course. They're still trying to get into the play-in. But when you look at the standings and the teams that are hot, we talked about, obviously, the Timberwolves, 6 straight. Now the Rockets have won 4 straight. The Grizzlies have won 4 straight. And so those teams there, Grizzlies and Rockets, they're in the 2 and 5th spot, respectively. But there's basically a tie between Memphis and Denver, and then the Lakers are there. It's the Rockets, the Warriors, the Wolves. It's awesome is what it is. Every game between these two teams, or even not sometimes, so important in terms of their standings. And I can't wait till we get to that final week or two. It's like, some teams like shut down guys, but like there might be some preference from these teams of like who we'd like to play, what seeding we'd want, what side of the bracket we want to be on in terms of maybe avoiding the Thunder or not. So it's going to be very exciting down the stretch. One game I wanted to touch on was the Hawks game because Trae Young made all of his 21 free throws and scored 35 points to lead the Hawks to their 4th straight victory. Hawks are getting back to 500, baby. Everything is almost right in the world. But they beat the Hornets. If we count the playoffs, and you can bet your ass we're going to, Young became the 8th player in NBA history to make 21 or more free throws without a miss. Only 4 players in history have ever made more free throws without a miss in a single game. Dirk Nowitzki went 24 for 24 at the line in a 2001 playoff game against OKC in the Western Conference Finals. It was game 1 of that series. Dirk, 24 for 24.
2011?
Yep.
Yep.
James Harden also went 24 for 24 at the charity stripe in a 2019 regular season game. Dominique Wilkins went 23 for 23 at the line in 92 versus MJ's Bulls.
Curveball.
In a Hawks win. It was sort of earlier in the season. And Jimmy Butler. This happened not that long ago, and I don't remember, but he went 23 for 23 at the line January 2023 against OKC, and he did hit that final free throw off of a 3-point play that he finished, game-winning 3-point play down the stretch. So that was the 4 guys that have hit more. The other guys to go 21 for 21 at the line in a game, Paul Pierce did it in a playoff game once, Kevin Durant, and Darren Williams. And now we have Trae Young. So, Some free throw guys right there.
Yeah, you were naming a lot of free throw guys. I was
guys.
like, oh, James Harden, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, yeah, he goes to the line a lot. Dirk Nowitzki, money.
Yep, for sure.
Dominique was the weird one.
That one,
Yeah.
that one surprised me, and I do remember the Dirk one. I mean, that's a little surprising too. That's a hell of a lot of free throws. But 24 for 24 in that game. But anyway, the Hawks win, and like I said, you know they're going to finish the season 500. You know it. They have to.
We'll see.
They have to be 41 and 44.
They have to.
They have to be.
Hey, man, their bench is good. They got good bench guys back during the trade deadline. 15 for Karis LeVert off the bench last night. He's been solid for them since he came over. Niang's good. Terrence Mann is good. Like, they really lost nothing giving up Hunter and Bogdanovich, who have both been solid for their teams. 30, I think, for Bogdanovich last night.
A win-win trade?
Sure.
Potentially.
Yeah. I mean, they've gone on a bit of a streak here, for sure. They're only 3 games under. I guess they're 2 games probably under 500. Yeah, I'm looking at Basketball Reference. They're slow this morning.
Yeah,
They are, yeah.
They don't even have the scores from last night up. Usually, they'll get the scores right away. You click in 404. Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play. But not even today. We're still on Tuesday mode.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just there trying to look at their last game before Trae Young came back, because it looks like a very different team without Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
They're all touching the ball. It's just a little different. Trae has made a sacrifice to get the ball to other guys, but yeah, I couldn't find the box score to see where my man Zachary Risache was doing. He has been rolling.
Yeah.
He's been kicking ass.
Quietly good.
Yeah.
The least talked about #1 pick of all time.
Quietly good.
He is. He's been solid. All right, let's go from games last night to a little beach stepping.
You got the buzz, I got the rockets. You got the nuts, I got the chocolates. We got that chit chat down pat, blah blah blah. You got that certain special, je ne sais quoi. Let's go to the beach, baby.
Yeah, let's go to the beach, baby. Only place to read your emails and your tweets. A lot of these emails, good stuff from all of you sending them in. Thank you. Got a good crap here today. First one from Bruce. Hey, no dunkers. Y'all mentioned earlier this week about the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns being one of the most beloved single-season teams of the 2000s. So true. But what other teams could crack that list? Lots of love. Again, that's from Bruce.
Bruce, thank you so much for writing this email.
You're the man, Bruce.
You're the man, Bruce! These are your top 5 most beloved single-season teams of the 2000s. Top 5, top 5, top 5. Top 5, top 5, top 5. Oh, I'm starting with a caveat. Top 5. No champions on this list.
Okay.
Can't have any champions, but if I were picking one based on what the people were saying on the internet yesterday, the 03-04 Pistons. People are obsessed with this team who beat the Lakers, at the top of their power. Nobody expected it to happen. The gritty defense first, 5 good players. We act like there's no awesome players, even though they have 2 Hall of Famers on this team. Nonetheless, 03-04 Pistons, people love them. Cool.
Okay, except for Shaq, of course.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't love them.
No. Yeah, and continues to hate the Pistons.
Yeah, anything that happened from 04 to 06, Shaq is out on. Up until that title in 06. All right, so 2 teams that really got this list started are the 2001-2002 Kings.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings. They won 61 games, best record in the league that season. Lost in Game 7 against the Los Angeles Lakers. Very controversial. The last 4 games of that Western Conference Finals came down to the final seconds of the game. 2 games were decided on game-winning shots. Game 7 went into overtime. Ralph Nader wrote a letter to David Stern questioning the integrity of this playoff series. That's pretty crazy. Ralph Nader, man.
Talking about the
Green
2000s,
Party,
man. Ralph Nader name drop.
Man, it felt like the Nader, that's for sure. For the Sacramento Kings, no doubt.
Yeah, that team was sick. Unfortunately, the better version of the Kings was with Mike Bibby. I hate to say it, Skeets. Once they upgraded from Jason Williams to Mike Bibby, they got a little less cool, but they got better. Because Bibby was a great clutch player. He was awesome. So they make the list easily. The other team is the 2004-2005 Suns, the 7 seconds or less Suns. They went 62-20, best record in the league that season. We mentioned on yesterday's show that Steve Nash won the MVP that year because they won 36 more games. They went from 26-15 the opposite of 82 to
56,
62 and 20.
56,
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, man.
This guy needs the diff.
Yeah, I need the diff. That's what you need
That's
it for.
what you do need the diff.
That's what you need the diff for. This team was awesome. It turned out they were a little early in their development. Once they got to the playoffs, they ran into the Spurs, which is what tended to happen to this 7 seconds or less era of Suns. Obviously, Amari Stoudemire gets hurt the next year, but the Suns stayed awesome. But those two teams, easy ads. to
Yeah,
me. Those are the basis
most people
of
would
the
have
list.
those teams on their
Yes.
list. Yeah.
All right. So, should I go in chronological order?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're adding the We Believe Warriors,
Oh.
2006, 2007. You had Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson, Matt Barnes, and Monte Ellis were like the main dudes for that team. Even JD loves this team. Matt Barnes, his favorite player. Andres Biedrins was around as well. Baron Davis had the dunk in the second round on Kirilenko. Awesome. I remember watching them beat the Mavericks in the first round with Will Leach before going to a Chicago White Sox baseball game. That's just a factoid right there.
Man, that's amazing.
People watching Warriors versus Mavericks in just a random bar in the afternoon.
I just
And
always remember from that series how they played Dirk.
Oh,
and like they're
yeah.
just like all up in his shorts, like up and under him, obviously with smaller guys, and it
Yes.
sort of flustered him. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go on a walkabout.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
they were the 1 seed. They got bounced. He had to accept his MVP trophy after being eliminated from the playoffs. That's when you got to go explore Australia.
Yeah.
You got to go see what kind of crazy animals they got going around there. All right, our next chronological list, the 2011-12 Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
A team that everybody loved way back then. It came right after the lockout season, and during that lockout was when Kevin Durant was just going around and playing in any pickup game. He scored like 66 in Rucker Park. We were in Portland for whatever thing they were doing at University of Portland. Everybody was wearing basketball don't stop shirts. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those were so cool. I had a black one with orange on it. Basketball never stops.
I was gonna say I thought it was basketball never stops.
Basketball, yeah. I'm thinking of Ball Don't Stop, one
Yeah.
of my favorite, or Ball Don't Stop? Yeah, that's the guy on Twitter.
Who's that guy?
The game is about a bucket. It always has been. Hooper versus basketball player.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Hoopers on this Thunder team.
Yeah.
It was KD, it was Russ, it was James Harden, it was Serge Ibaka, it was even Kendrick Perkins.
Baller.
You see him on the sidelines being eliminated by the Miami Heat in the finals. They had a 1-0 lead. They could have had a 2-0 lead, but guess what? It's the finals. You ain't getting that call on LeBron James on the baseline. These guys will be back in the finals for sure, right? Yeah, they might be this year in 2025. Don't count your finals appearances before they hatch.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly's fault. Taking
Yeah.
out Russell Westbrook,
Fair
that's
enough,
a part
yeah.
of it.
Yep.
Getting Tyson Chandler instead of Kendrick Perkins, that could have made a difference. Who knows? That was a weird trade that didn't happen for
Right.
OKC. There's a lot of what ifs with that OKC team.
What if they kept James Harden?
That would have
That's a
been
big
a
one.
thing.
That's a big one. It was a Kevin Durant, Kevin Martin-led team the next year. Didn't go quite as well.
Kevin
Art-
Martin. Wow.
Yeah, remember
Yeah, I
him?
forgot he was on.
Yeah, it was actually funny. Like, we were just talking about Steven Adams versus Mason Plumlee. Steven Adams and, like, Kevin Durant ran into each other when they were playing last night. I was like, oh, yeah, those guys were teammates.
Yeah.
Way back when.
when.
All right, our final team, the fifth most beloved team, or chronologically at least, the 2012-2013 Memphis Grizzlies. To me, the peak of the grit and grind era of the Grizzlies. They went 56-26, beat the Lob City Clippers, beat the Kevin and Kevin Thunder, and then lost to the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. This was an easy ad for me as well, because our man Brett Usher just recently posted a video of Zach Randolph playing in the post, playing in the mid-range game, and everyone's like, they got to bring back this basketball. They got to bring back jab steps and fadeaways. It was cool to see a guy playing like that, but like Gasol and Randolph together, whooping that trick. It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good list.
Yeah.
Those are 5 I would have on my short list for sure. I'm even struggling to think of another team, especially when
Oh, you want 5 more? No
well,
problem.
when you remove the you can't win a title part for sure. Yeah.
All right, so here's my next 5 that I would add. The 13-14 Hawks, great team, bounced by LeBron.
Yeah.
60 wins. All 5 players, 1 player of the month. 4 went to the All-Star game. Sorry to Damari Carroll. Also, the 05-06 Wizards, the peak of the
That's a good
Gilbert
one.
Arenas Wizards. They also ran into LeBron James. It keeps happening to these teams for some reason. The 2000 The 2000-2001 Clippers 0001 looks weird in my notes, but that's the Darius Miles, Lamar Odom, Elton Brand Clippers. We're knocking our heads for the Knuckleheads. They're now a famous podcast.
Q Rich, yeah.
A couple of podcasts have come out of these teams. Now that I'm thinking,
Yeah, Jeff Teague. Yeah.
Jeff Teague. The Clippers have a podcast right now. The Warriors have a podcast with Steven Jackson. Baron Davis, aka Bart Oatmeal, is a rapper and a podcaster.
Yeah.
If you're a beloved team,
Yeah.
10 years down the line, you could have a successful NBA podcast that people watch the clips of. Just remember that. Also, I'm adding the 01 76ers, Allen Iverson, going to the finals, taking a game off the Lakers, stepping over Tyronn Lue. And the 15-16 Warriors, who did not win the title. They won 73 games.
Jeez.
They lost in Game 7 of the playoffs. And guess what? Even though the next season they got Kevin Durant, everybody was a Warriors fan in 2016. They started, 24-0, I believe.
Yeah.
The best show in basketball at the time. Steph Curry, the original double bang way back when. So they made my list as well. And my secondary beloved champion, the beautiful game 13-14 Spurs.
Right. Not winning that year. Good list.
Very fun.
Basketball's fun.
Who's the most beloved team of the 2020s?
Ooh, I like that. To not win a title.
To not win
Sticking
a
with
title.
that.
Because I couldn't come up with one. I was like, literally, these are all 10 plus years ago.
Most beloved team, man. Now we're in an era where just there's too much hate, you know?
So true. So true. Think about it.
Yeah. That's tough.
We are early here in the 2020s. One of these teams that we beloved now may not win it. You know, your Cleveland Cavaliers. Just saying, just throwing it out there. They are going to be an awesome team that wins 65 games.
Thunder, I guess. If they don't win a title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, let us know on the stream team.
Yeah, it was
Let
like
us know on the stream team.
I was like, I was gonna make a. No, I'm not making a
Not
case for this
your
team.
Miami
Never mind.
Heat. Your Miami Heats.
The Jimmy Butler. Ooh,
The Butler Heat.
Okay,
that's
the
interesting.
Playing Heat were fun
Yeah.
to watch for sure.
Bubble Heat.
Yeah, Bubble Heat.
Bubble Heat.
Okay.
Jimmy, you know, leaning over the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Dying.
Dragic. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next question. We love that one. Let's talk about things you hate. Hey, no, I can't even read this. Hey, Donunks. My basketball ick is wearing a jersey of a player much younger than you. What's your basketball ick? Thanks. That's from Ethan in Atlanta. First of all, I don't got a problem with that.
What?
Wearing a jersey of a basketball player younger than you? That's fine. That's fine.
Every jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, for us. I mean, I'm not gonna,
True, yeah.
I'm not gonna buy a PJ Tucker Knicks jersey because he's a little younger than me and just signed a 10-day. I'm not gonna buy a LeBron jersey. You know, you got to go a little younger. But anyway, what's your basketball ick?
I've got three. One I've talked about before: dudes hooping in baseball hats. Not a fan of it.
Oh, what if there's those new baseball hats that have the team name?
Yeah.
Oh, the Tatas?
The
You
Tetas.
can't even buy those. Well, you can on eBay. They're like $1,000. They removed them from the store.
Hilarious.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter any type of baseball.
What about backwards hat?
No, I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. It's wrong sport, man. Take it off. So there's that. I got two more though. Playing on an outdoor court without mesh nets.
Ooh, yeah,
I can't stand it. I'm team double rim over the no mesh on an outdoor court. I am. I'd prefer to have a mesh.
I hear you.
Can't stand when like somebody hits a shot. Somebody swishes a shot and the ball's gone because it's gone through perfectly and it's like just.
No, that one was in. That was in.
I know.
Yeah.
So hate that. And just the final one, a basketball ick. When a new guy shows up to your run, who plays like either very selfishly, like the first time he comes to the run, or he plays absolutely zero defense. He's like one of those players, and you're like, hey, come on, man. Especially if you like brought that person. Ooh, that's real bad then, because now that ick's on you. So those are my three icks. What do you got?
I got two icks. I don't like when your sock and your shoe brand don't match.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I saw a guy wearing Adidas socks with Nike shoes
Yeah.
on Tuesday, so we had to beat him by 40. Simply had to do
damn.
it. If I was an NBA player, I'd been doing the same thing a James Harden does. Fold over the little Nike at the top.
Sure.
Because they're forced to, right? Like they
Yeah.
all wear Nike socks. But they don't all have to wear Nike shoes. But I would be folding over. I would do the same. And the second thing I hate is the sound a jammed finger makes on a basketball. Like that pop noise. Ooh, whose finger was that? I feel like launching an investigation every time I hear it. Show me your digits.
Yeah. Good one. You got any others?
Yeah, when you go to a gym and the balls suck. Like if you don't bring a ball and you just dribble down a ball that's warped or flat, you try and check on your handles, and all of a sudden the ball just goes in a different direction or it's flat, and you wonder if your handles suck. No, it's the balls. That's terrible. It's a terrible feeling.
Do you have your own ball?
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, you just went to Dick's the other day. I hope you got one.
I didn't buy one then.
No.
I've had one forever.
Good.
I still have the one that's engraved with the starters that was sent to us at NBA TV.
Damn.
I shouldn't call it an engravement. They threw it on there.
Stamp. Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Embossing. What is that called?
Yeah, I guess an
didn't even know I had
embossing,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the one that's called the star. We've got one ball. One ball that said the starters over.
But it's a real good ball.
It's a solid ball.
Okay.
I wouldn't say the best, but really good.
Just like our show. Let's go to our next one here. Hi, guys. If a witch was cursing an NBA team to have all of their losses happen in the same way, which type of repeated loss would be the most painful? Some choices. Constantly losing on buzzer beaters. Constantly getting blown out by 30 points. Constantly going up double digits, thinking this is finally the time that they're going to hold on to the lead, only to watch them gradually crumble in the fourth quarter and lose. Or something else. Just asking this randomly, not because I think it's happening to the Miami Heat or anything. Next question from longtime No Dunks fan, Allison. Yeah, so a witch has cursed your team, TK. Which type of repeated loss is the most painful to you?
And I think Allison clarified, you don't know that the witch has cursed your team,
right.
so
That's
you're just
right.
living, which makes it, to me, losing on a buzzer beater constantly would be by far the worst.
Yes.
Like that happened to the Grizzlies, right? Like it happened in 3 straight games. They lost basically on a buzzer beater or a game-winning shot in the last possession, the last 5 seconds or something like that. If you didn't know that that was what was happening to your team, you would be going insane if it happened 82 times.
Yeah, that's my answer as well.
That would be painful, but I think constantly getting blown up by 30 is actually the worst. It's like, why are you going to wake up in the morning to get smashed by 30? At least with getting beat by a buzzer, it's painful, extremely painful, but you got something to work for the next day. If you get blown up by 30, it's like,
But
I'm horrible.
doesn't make the buzzer beating worse, because it's like you're in the game every time, and every game you're like, we're gonna finally win this one and hold on. But every time you were like on a miraculous shot beats you every single time. At least when you lose them by 30, you're like, oh, our team sucks. We just suck.
Yeah.
We're starting Jemison battle. What are we supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah, and it's similar to what Allison is saying here about these unfortunate Miami Heat getting up double digits and giving up a lead. I think it's the same sort of similar to buzzer beaters where you think this is the one, here we go, and then it all falls apart. Both painful. A category I would add is just losing by free throws each and every time. Number one, so boring for you as a team, and second, you can argue about the fouls. It just doesn't feel right. Just lame, super lame. To watch a free throw go in and say, that's it, we lost again.
Time expired.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a foul
point.
right at the end. The guy just has to hit one free throw and they win.
Nobody's standing at the line.
Yeah.
Is it witch cursey the way LeBron owned the Eastern Conference, and like every good Eastern Conference team would have their best winning percentage, their best record in a decade, and then they would lose to a LeBron team that slept walk through the regular season and swept them in the playoffs? Is that a witch curse?
LeBron's a witch, man. Yeah.
He's still playing.
Yeah.
It seems supernatural.
That's true when you bring it up. As Raptors fans, it sucked. I mean, it was infuriating.
Yeah, it happened to the Bulls, happened to the Pacers, happened to the Hawks,
Probably.
happened to the Raptors, Wizards early on.
Yeah. But it's not the same. You're just like, you sort of always knew that you had to beat him.
Yeah,
he was like a
knew
final
the witch,
boss.
yeah.
I mean, without being a final, you obviously had to go to the finals, but he was the final boss for a lot of Eastern Conference teams that nobody could beat. You needed the game genie to help you figure out him, or have him leave the conference, which that's got the Raptors.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a lot of teams. The Atlanta Hawks, that 60-win team too. That must have been their best season.
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
they got swept, didn't they?
Yes.
Matthew Dellavedova took out Kyle Korver. What up with that? Okay, next one here. Hi, guys. Clearly, JD enjoyed wiring up a camera, monitor, and mics in his bathroom the other week.
Did I?
You little sicko, you little pervert.
What room is he going to wire up next? And what's his excuse this time? His excuse. That's from Bennett W.
There we go, JD.
There's something there, right, JD? You loved it, but you hated it, but you loved it.
I mean, it was a fun week of you sitting on a can. I'll say that. Yeah, where would I? Maybe in the yard, so I could get the pick and payoff should be you clean my yard, and then just put a wireless mic on you and just rake all the leaves and clean up all the shit over here on the side of the house. That'd be great. That'd be great.
That's the second chore-oriented pick and payoff you've suggested. The other one was off-air when you said, the guy has to wash my car.
Yeah. No, I didn't say my car. I said
Everybody's
car.
So
One
a different
car a day.
week. Yeah, okay.
Per day.
Just trying to get some things done around here, eh?
I just want to see some movement on camera, you know? Like
Something happening.
Yeah. Just make it. You know, the other thing was there was a loose wire on the there is a loose wire on the Classic Factory sign. It would be funny to have a dude just sort of try to fix it for the entire week or just hold it so it stays lit up.
I tried for 3 days.
Yeah, it was,
I literally went blind looking at the sign.
yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Some good ones there.
There's also the roof. Clean the gutters while you're up there. You know.
Oh, jeez. A little dangerous, but
You love cleaning gutters, don't you?
yeah,
Skeets?
I do. I wouldn't want to do his house, though.
Steep? Or?
Yeah.
It's
Very
very steep, and we're on a big hill.
Yeah.
But I have gutters that it's the one thing that we invested in that they don't get leaves in there.
What, you got the guard?
The guard, yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Things are good here, man.
Wow.
Things are really, really good. No kitchen, but we have
No kitchen.
the guard.
Factory falling apart.
The factory is
But,
falling
man,
apart.
not a single leaf found in our beef shop.
That's right.
I don't know. I think that's gonna backfire. Those guards, they don't seem like they're. Things get caught in there.
I go up there every once in a while, check it out. It's fine.
So
Blow
so
'em
far
off.
so good.
Blow them off.
Just blow them off.
Yeah.
I don't have to dig them out.
Okay, next one. Hey, No Dunks crew, I went to the New York Public Library recently and I saw a sculpture that looked just like Kevin Durant. This got me thinking, are there NBA players that resemble any historical figures? Turnips. That's from Philip. With one L, I gotta respect that. Good stuff, Philip. And we have a photo. He took a photo of this Durant-esque statue. I can see it.
Not bad.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh yeah, the facial hair.
Yep. So the resemblance is
cheeks.
there. But
Yeah.
does anyone else have a historical figure that compares to an NBA player?
Yeah, I don't know who this historical figure is, but I saw some short video somewhere, and it just said, "Am I tripping, or is this Nikola Jokic with a bust on the outside
Oh yeah.
of some
Interesting.
building?"
I
And
saw
it
that.
looks exactly like Jokic
That's really good.
with some sort of wig on. But man, like the nose is
Yeah.
identical, the eyes are identical. That is Nikola Jokic, busted up and thrown on the side of a building.
That's good.
That's good.
I
Yeah.
thought for sure you were going to say, so I didn't even put it in my notes, but I'll add it now. Chet Holmgren looks pretty similar to Abe Lincoln.
He does look like Abe Lincoln.
And like, in fact, joked about it once. He said, "For those who are asking, yes, I am related to Abraham Lincoln. My grandfather." I don't even know. This could be a fake account. But anyway, he does have a striking resemblance to Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to, he literally changed up his beard style, I think, because he was getting frustrated that so many people were comparing him to
Right.
the old rail splitter.
That was an NBA Centel quote. So he
we've
didn't
all-
actually say that.
We've all been sent out.
I know. I caught myself mid-sharing of that tweet. Oh, dear, hold on. But man, they did it so well. They put the video of him talking, but I had to listen to it. But I'm on a live podcast. I can't listen.
Hold on, is NBA Centel back?
Yeah.
They were banned for
Yeah,
a while.
they were banned for like 24 hours. That parody account is back, baby.
That's huge. That's just huge.
It says
for us.
blocked to me, but maybe I blocked it.
Oh, this is at the NBA Centel. Is that a different one?
No. Weird.
Maybe you blocked it, yeah.
There's a lot of different
you
things.
kept getting screwed by it.
I got
times.
pocked. Yeah, I got one. Yeah, the whole Luka Doncic was called by Nico Harrison. That got me. It got me because I went and I checked Luka's Instagram and maybe it wasn't there. So I did some work, but then I quit. So yeah, that's my fault. That's totally my fault.
Anyway, the comparison still stands, Centello or not.
Oh yeah,
Chet Holmgren looks like Abe Lincoln.
He still looks like him no matter
Yeah.
what. He'll never take it from us.
Do you have any others, Tess?
No, I started going through it, but I couldn't find any connection. I thought Norman Powell.
How are you going through it, out of curiosity, looking at historical figures and going, they look like NBA players, or looking at NBA players going, do they look like historical
both
figures?
ways.
Okay.
I thought Norman Powell looked like Martin Luther King for a second, but then I went side by side, and then no, it didn't really do it. Sort of, but nah, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Then I thought Gordon Hayward might look like Abe Lincoln or George Washington. Actually, we're going way back. There's a little bit there. No, didn't happen either. All right, next one. Last one.
Last one.
Hey, No Dunkers, you mentioned in a recent show that Jokic has never played with an All-Star. It is true. That would be an insane way for his career to continue. If Jamal Murray, MPJ, and Aaron Gordon can't step up this postseason, the Nuggets should look to make some moves to not waste one of the greatest primes in history. To me, Kevin Durant on Denver makes sense. He can play off-ball and space the floor, plus he could lead all the non-Jokic minutes. It would be scary to see Jokic with a player who can shoot and score like KD. Maybe the Nugs could get KD and Grayson Allen for MPJ, Murray, and a pick. I don't know if anybody sport tack that one or trade machine that one. Anyway, the main point is, who would you guys like to see play alongside Jokic while he's in his prime? Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome. That is from Chris. It is true. He's not played with an all-star quite to this point of his career.
Amazing.
I don't know if he's going to go like Isaiah Thomas's route. Isaiah Thomas always says, I never got to play with anybody from the top 50. He always says that because he played with an all-star, Joe Dumars,
Yeah.
a billion times.
Yeah.
But he always says, never part of the
Right.
top 50. No one. Jokic definitely has never played with anybody in the top 50 or the top 75. But here we are. Should they go get Kevin Durant?
No, they shouldn't trade. I would rather roll with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and a pick than Kevin Durant and Grayson Allen. That's an easy no for me.
Because of age, because of just giving up 2 for 1, because of Kevin Durant obviously still being a talented player, but
All three of those
with everything
things.
that comes with
Yes.
him. Yeah. Do you have anyone else that you'd love to see play with Jokic though? in his
Well, I
prime?
mean, if Steph Curry played with Nikola Jokic, it would be the most beautiful basketball that you've ever seen in your life. It would be an unstoppable offense. It would be like, what if Jamal Murray was one of the 10 best players of all time?
Yeah.
They play very similar styles, except for Steph Curry is awesome at it, and Jamal Murray is sometimes awesome at it.
it's good.
That's an easy one. For realistic guys, I think Tyrese Maxey would be an awesome fit next to Nikola Jokic. He would do a lot of the same things that he does alongside Joel Embiid in the dribble handoff game, but he brings an element of speed that Jamal Murray doesn't have, and he's just as good of an off-ball player, I think. And Tyrese Halliburton, actually, I think would be kind of interesting just because they're both such unselfish players who like to trigger the fast break, but can play two-man games as well.
Good answers. Do you have an opinion on the KD Nugs situation?
I hear the idea. First, it can't be done because Phoenix can't aggregate salaries because they're in the second apron. They couldn't trade a Grayson. Anyway, there'd have to be a third team. I understand somebody off the ball to help. But, Jamal Murray does a lot. He dribbles a lot. So it would just be very different. It would be a very different era of the Nikola Jokic. But I do get you. We want somebody. And listen, Jamal Murray can make an all-star game one day. So we won't be able to say that anymore.
Let's hope so. Let's
hope so.
The people are mentioning Jokic is playing with the top 75 player right now.
Westbrook.
Fair point.
He's not the
Good,
top
good.
of his
Fair
game,
point.
but
Fair point.
yes.
Fair point.
slipping
Fair
in.
point. Yep.
It is slipping in.
Fair
And he
point.
made him good. Like, he has
sure has helped.
reinvigorated
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook. People thought it was Jover, myself included.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jokic asked for Westbrook. He wanted him because he knew Westbrook moved off the ball, which Kevin Durant isn't that type of player. Because Jokic can just pass to Westbrook all day long. Anyways, the Nuggets are very, very good right now. Christian Braun has taken another step. They messed up a little bit in the last couple off seasons, but we shall see.
Yeah, in all honesty, if the Nuggets lose in the first round here, right? Exposed, whatever. Jamal Murray, another bad playoff. Maybe nothing from Michael Porter Jr. Maybe Aaron Gordon's banged up or not. Like, whatever. It could happen because it could be a matchup problem. Maybe they run into Wolves, whatever. You do, I think, like, as the Nuggets organization, have to be like, holy crap, maybe we do need to make a drastic change because, as this email points out, this is prime Jokic. I mean, we just, like, have never even seen these type of numbers and what he can do. And do we owe it to him to, like, try and, like, reshuffle the lineup here and get either another star player in here and like make a really big move to give him another chance to win one and give our franchise another chance to win one?
Yeah,
that's possible. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think Michael Porter Jr. would be the first one to go.
Yeah,
they would try any sort of Michael Porter Jr. plus picks plus what other kind of salary they can do before they would do Jamal Murray trade. Just because, I mean, Jamal Murray was money in the playoffs when they won the championship. Jokic loves playing alongside him, so I don't think a package deal would be the way that they change their team, but they probably would like to change their team if things go poorly in the playoffs. I've also seen Tyler Hero as a nice suggestion for a guy to play alongside Jokic. Similar to a Maxey or, honestly, like a Jamal Murray as well, but great shooter.
Yeah. All right, great questions, guys. Keep them coming. NoDunks@theathletic.com. Tweet them in @NoDunksInc or drop them in the YouTube comments. Okay, pick them. Where are we going tonight, Tess?
We're going to the Lakers visiting the Bucks. I know it feels like we keep picking the Lakers to be involved here, but it is a freaking great game. The Bucks are favored by 5.5 at home, nationally televised TV game. A couple of us are taking the Lakers, getting those 5.5 points. Trey and Esh taking the Lakers, while myself and Skeets taking those Bucks. Why are you taking the Bucks, Skeets? How do you feel?
Yeah. Like last night's game where I sided with the wrong team, I did take the Celtics. I was torn. I didn't know which way to go. I feel the same way tonight with this line. A little bigger than I thought, but I don't know. I like that we were split is my answer. I like seeing a graphic that's got two guys going one team, two guys going the other. But I don't have a good read on this game or this line, so I don't feel confident, and I would not be putting my hard-earned money on it. Why do you like the Lakers, though?
I like the points.
There you go.
5.5 points. That's a lot. The Bucks have played 3 straight games that have been 1 point, 2 point, 1 point games.
Yeah, and I took them because those 1.2.1 points have been loss. And they ain't right. They just got to bounce back.
Hey, man, they can win by 1 as far as I'm concerned. They can even win by 5 if they want to.
Yeah.
The Lakers got to play a lot harder than they did in their previous game.
Yeah, Reddit called them out.
Yeah, and they didn't play hard enough. They've got to play like 100% effort being so shorthanded.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what Doc throws at Luka. They're going to get some Andre Jackson out there, who's not really part of the rotation, but yeah, some guys throwing at Luka, that's for sure.
I'm concerned with what Trae said the other day. Now that I have the Bucks, we were making fun of Luka's Karen hair. He had quite a look going on, and maybe the effort wasn't all there. He had a bad game, and he said, oh, God, what's he going to do now? He's going to come out and have a 50-point game. It's in play.
Yeah, if he's smiling in the first quarter,
look out.
Watch out.
Yeah. All right, so we're split on Lakers-Bucks. Milwaukee's got to win by 6 or more for Tass and I to get that victory. We'll call it there, but hey, we're not done here in the Classic Factory. Survivor fans, new No Buffs episode coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern. No Buffs. It's on YouTube feed. It's on podcast feed. Perfect time to get in. Insane tribal council last night. It might take 45 minutes just to break it down and make sense of what the hell happened. We had a lot going on. That's all I'll say. A whole bunch of revotes. So we're going to talk about that and break down the entire episode with Nora a little bit later, 1 p.m. Eastern. So come join us. Otherwise, we're back tomorrow with the Drop podcast. One of the things I plan on doing with you guys is looking at our Eastern Conference over-under picks from the preseason. We did that last week with the West. Some were good, some were bad. I haven't even really dug in yet, so I don't know if we're going to be better in the East or worse.
I'm already excited to hear the Miami Heat takes. Pretty sure I locked there over. Bounce back season for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, so I'll be listening to
Hey, it
that.
has been for a different team.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be listening to that later today, so that will be one thing we'll do on the Drop tomorrow. Some Worst of the Week nominees, I'm sure. Rapid fire fun. Always a blast on Friday. We'll see you then. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, it's always fun to read the comments from the stream teamers. It's always enjoyable. Everyone except for Leo, though. I mean, that guy just coming at me, just firing the blows. Does it affect me? You
bitch.
I can't sleep at night. Embrace the day, people.